Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Glasgow Warriors' brand new, refreshed, rebranded, rebooted podcast, or as we're calling it, the Squadcast, where we will go behind the scenes of everyday life at Scotstoun with one of your favourite Glasgow Warriors. And we're blessed to start with our first guest of the series, who is everybody's favourite Warrior. He asked me to introduce himself like that, but it is Glasgow Warriors prop, jack of all trades, and Scotland tourist, Murphy Walker. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Craig. That's awfully nice of you.
I mean, I'm only saying nice things. I've got to get you to come back.
I've heard some worse things said, to be fair, but yeah, thanks.
So, general overview, I suppose. New season, new coach. If we'll take a wee look back over the summer, how was your break? What have you been up to?
It was pretty full on to start off with, I can't lie. Going on tour, Chile and then Argentina, seeing all the sights of Argentina, was quite cool. And obviously being around that squad environment was also nuts. Like coming from a family who supported Scotland rugby as a young family especially, and going to all the games and then eventually being on that tour with the national team was pretty unbelievable. And then also, like I said to mum and dad, and that, I'd probably never go to Argentina on a holiday. So being able to do it through rugby, or Chile to be fair, to do it through rugby is also very special, like seeing those different places. But yeah, the experience on a whole was nuts, and yeah, I enjoyed it. And then nicely came back when I had a day here when I got back, and then I went away to Portugal with my girlfriend for a week, and then met my family out there as well. And then after that was just milling about Glasgow and home back in Dundee for the rest until pre-season started 2-3 weeks ago.
So you had all that nice time off, nice seeing the sights, everything like that, and then come back in straight into Franco's beasting sessions.
Yeah,
how's that going?
To be fair, it was a bit of an eye-opener, just the first session. We thought there was going to be a nice smooth run up into getting beasted and a little teaser, but no, we were straight into the deep end, which was good, to be fair, getting us straight in there. And it was a bit of a shock to the system, but the boys have been working hard, especially the boys that came back late. We're working hard to try catch up on everything. Obviously some plays that have already been set out, and we're just getting the grips of it again. But yeah, it's been good. Boys are very excited, especially with new coach Franco.
Well, we're talking about the boys, where you should probably give the listeners a bit of an introduction as to what the Squadcast is all about. So in front of us, it translates really well to an audio medium, but in front of us we have a hat full of scenarios written on scraps of paper, as Murphy said just before we started recording.
No expense spared at all.
None whatsoever. Thanks, shout out to Shiz the Kitman for the hat. On those pieces of paper are various questions and scenarios around your Glasgow Warriors teammates.
Yep.
Your job, Murphy, is to answer them to the best of your ability and entertain the listeners to make sure that they don't turn off at this juncture.
I'll do my best.
Fully immersed. So are you ready for your first Squadcast scenario? I don't even know if it's a scenario or whatever. So question number 1. Oh, here we go. It's a long one to start. All right. Fingers crossed this doesn't happen, but you have been kidnapped.
Right.
Your rescue party is being led by the last teammate you messaged on any app, whether it's Instagram, WhatsApp, text, good old-fashioned carrier pigeon. I don't know how you would do it. Who is it? And are you confident that they're going to rescue you?
Right.
We're going with the heavy-hitting ones to start, I think.
I think the last person I messaged would have to be Ollie Smith, which was last night. Would I trust him to come get me? He's terrible at organising things, which is the one part of me that's kind of thinking maybe not. I think he'd make a good effort. Don't know if he'd be actually able to get me out of wherever I'd been kidnapped by, but I think his organisation would probably let him down in the end. That'd be the worst thing. But if I had to go before that, Ross Thompson was the one person I messaged before that. I probably believe in Ross. I reckon Ross would get the job done. He's got that intellectual brain behind him. He's a problem solver. I reckon Ross would get the job done.
I was going to say, he's a clever boy. He strikes me as the sort of person that would try and find almost a resolution before he had to come and do sort of all John McClane and rescue you.
Yeah, he wouldn't go gung-ho. He'd have a long process thinking about it. You know, he's been at uni a long time, so you'd think he'd have a bit of brains behind him before he started actually working his magic. So
no pressure whatsoever on either Ross or Ollie, if that ever happens. I mean, hopefully it doesn't.
Hopefully it doesn't, but yeah. Hopefully one of them actually would want to come help me.
So that's the other worry on your side. They'd want to come and rescue.
Yeah, they'd probably just want to leave me there wherever I was.
Fair enough. I mean, I can't comment on that. But so far, based on a sample size of 1, you're the guest we'd like to have back. So All right, so Ross Thompson / Ollie Smith is your answers who you would rescue.
Yeah.
moving swiftly onwards to your second. What we got? Which teammate is the one who never stops talking on the pitch? Now you can take that whichever way you feel like, whether that's sledging, whether that's encouragement, whether that's good old-fashioned...
In terms of motivation, keeping the boys going, I reckon Stafford McDowell is one that constantly you can hear him, and it's always good talk. And you get the terms in rugby, white noise, and then obviously there's other one where it's like actually good behind the things he's saying. But usually Staff's the one that's always motivating boys, especially the forwards when we're absolutely blowing and we need to know where we're going or wanting to get organised. Staff's always good, chirping in your ear. And on the other hand, Wills, I played a couple of games with him last season, and yeah, it's it's just funny to see him do his thing and wind up other players. I think it was the Scarlets game last year away, which was actually quite funny. It wasn't so much talking, but in one of the scrums, he was on the flanker, and it was the opposition ball, so the 9 was putting the ball in on his side when he was on the blind side. And as he went down to put the ball in, as the 9 went down to put the ball in, Wills just grabs his shoelace and undoes his shoelace. He was obviously fuming about it, the 9, but the ref just let it play. And there's actually a funny video Wills has got where he's just smiling away as he's done it, and the ref's not seen anything. So yeah.
I was going to say, it's one that we probably shouldn't highlight, but then again, I remember that Wilson tweeted it to his 40 million Twitter or Instagram followers or whichever it is nowadays. Just rewinding a bit back to Stafford being the one that gets in your ear and keeps you going. What sort of stuff is he just giving you? Is he scrummaging tips? What sort of stuff is he giving you boys?
It's more so when we're moving about on the hoof and we're all tired, because it's quite typical when you get tired you don't really speak because all you're thinking about is breathing. Especially as a tight 5, all you can think about is breathing, and the last thing you want to do is speak. But in attack, obviously him being that important 12 connector with the 10 and the 13 and the outside backs, it's obviously important for him to organise us into shape if we're running whatever shapes we're running. But also in defence, if he needs more boys coming around the corner, he tells us when to go, when to stop. You can always hear him. And especially when you review games, he's very animated as well. It's not just his voice; you can see by his body language as well when he doesn't want any more around or if he wants more around her, etc. But yeah, it's very good in terms of for tight 5 to have a 12 that speaks a lot to you. So makes our job easier. Yeah.
I was going to say, so you enjoy having a back in your ear from that side as opposed to
Definitely.
Fair enough. Okay, it's a very backs heavy episode so far, but we're okay with it.
I know.
Won't all be like this.
Get on to
As a forward myself, we can't have that.
Yeah, we'll get on to the heavies. Don't
all right, here we go. Curveball. So this isn't necessarily a teammate, but which coach would you pair up with for a round of golf?
A round of golf? What coach?
We should say, for the record, this is not a legally binding contract. You're not going to get accused of playing favourites with your coach for your...
Yeah, I'd love to play around with Franco. Please pick me. Coach. I'd actually go Pete Horn. I don't really know if Pete is a great golfer, but I know that George is a great golfer, so I'm just presuming that Pete would be a great golfer. And obviously, playing with Pete and then now being a coach, he's obviously got some good crack. So if I had to go Glasgow, it would be Pete Horn. I reckon he's bound to. If George is good, George is competitive, so he must have been trying to get as good as Pete. So Pete must be decent.
They're also the sort of people that you would just imagine are talented at whatever they pick up. Really, I mean, there's a stat doing the rounds. I think one or both of them was an age grade tennis champion. I'm like, you can't be that talented at two sports, surely. Do you play golf yourself? Yeah,
play a bit with. We've got a good wee group going. It's myself, Ollie Smith, Jamie Dobie, Ross Thompson, and was Robbie McCallum, but he's moved into London. So we'd always have a wee group. We'd go up to Hilton Park, play a couple of rounds around there, and then obviously the golf days that we get at Cameron House whenever the opportunity is. It was quite good. We also had that golf day as a squad last year. Yeah, and we played at Cameron House as well, and that was great fun. I actually ended up in the winning group with Ali, Hugh, and Hasto at the time, which was nice. That was good, and we won a free round of golf again back at Cameron House.
It's like clearly all on the back of your golfing talents there.
I think they carried me for a lot of it. I think I got one putt on camera as well, and that was probably the highlight of my day. And then the rest of it,
that's the important thing. Get it on camera. Exactly. Doesn't matter how the rest of the round goes.
I think I lost about 12 balls, but other than that, it was successful day.
That still counts. All right, here we go. Which teammate makes the best coffee and who never makes them? This is your chance to name, shame, throw under the bus, throw under the coffee machine, however you want to go.
I've got a confession here. I actually don't like coffee.
Oh, here's a controversial
I
one.
actually don't like coffee. And I speak to Xander, Bergie and that, and they say that I'll get into it at some point. They say, try Mocha's stuff like first, and then you'll slowly build up to a flat white, etc., or whatever it is. But I'm not a massive fan of them. Every time I taste them, I don't get the hype. And I don't... Obviously, I get it, like boys going out for coffee, socialising and stuff. But myself and Gregor, whenever the boys go out for coffees, we always order a nice wee hot chocolate together.
I see there's nothing wrong with that
Exactly.
either.
So you've got the boys ordering nice flat whites and espressos, all that fancy stuff, and then there's Gregor and I in the corner with a hot chocolate.
Are you a full works hot chocolate, like the whole cream marshmallows flake?
Not really.
We'll cut this in recording if the nutritionists are listening and you're a full out.
Please don't listen, Killian, please. There was one time when we went up to Aberdeen with Dave when he was here in that pre-season, and we had a front row coffees, like meeting type thing. And obviously, it's not drinking coffee. I asked for a hot chocolate, and this was, I think, my first proper pre-season in here. And Kebble was so kind to pick up the bill, and he ordered them, and he brought back a hot chocolate that must have been in a soup mug with whipped cream, marshmallows, chocolate sprinkles, and a flake. So everybody was sat there with a fancy flat whites, and I was sat there with this mountain of hot chocolate and bad stuff.
But I suppose the question is, are they happy, or versus are you happy?
Yeah, I don't mind it, to be fair. I'll take whatever judging I get, but I think the best flat white maker from what I've heard has got to be Simon Bergen. He's a connoisseur of coffee. Yeah,
he's very into his coffee downstairs, isn't he?
He's the one to go to if you ever want a flat white. He's got the latte art all nailed down. He can do all sorts. I've seen him work his magic. I don't really appreciate it that much because I'm not a coffee drinker, but whenever he's around the coffee machine, the boys are always asking him to get it done, and he seems to be really good at what he does. And what was the second part of the question?
Who never makes them, which I feel actually might be yourself, but
that's
okay.
I don't think I've ever made a flat white in my life. I've made a coffee mainly for my nana and my mum when she's at home.
Ah, nice.
But that's just purely the ground coffee, hot water and some milk.
It still counts.
But yeah, I think Matt Fagg gets a lot of stick because he's always demanding them but never making them. But he claims that he's a good barista at it as well, but I've never seen it happen in real life.
Stay tuned, Warrior Nation. We might get Matt on in a future episode to confirm or deny these accusations.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with me.
Wow. I mean, it's not like one of us has to go out and train against him every day.
I don't need to worry. I can roast his coffee art as much as I want because I don't drink it. He's never made me a hot chocolate, put it that way.
Do you know what? If there was a hot chocolate clinic at this club, I'd be right in.
Yeah, same.
I think we might need to start that up. Now, this is a good one because I know we'll come on to it in a minute, but I know when you introduce new signings and there's all the best hidden facts, and this is along those lines. So, which teammate has the best hidden talent?
God.
And we asked this a couple of times in the magazine last year, and a few boys were stumped and just started listing off what boys' hobbies were. I seem to remember doing one with Donkey Weir in the magazine last year where he just decided that he liked being tall, so he wanted to say that Richie Gray had a best hidden talent. Not sure that we kind of grasped what a talent was there.
I actually can't think off the top of my head who would have the best hidden talent. But I know Ollie Smith can play, I think, 4 bars of Viva La Vida on the piano. Really good, to be fair. I'll give him his due. When he does it, it's really good. And he's done it a couple of times, and the crowds got going and got well excited. But he only knows the 4 bars or chords or whatever it is, and he just plays them over and over and over and over. But everybody seems to love it when he does it. But other than that, I can't really think of many other hidden talents.
It's a proper party trick, though. At least that's a get the crowd going.
Yeah, there was a piano. I remember at school, we were at some dinner thing, and there was a piano at the back of the room, and managed to egg him on to do it, and he started doing it, and everybody was up singing and dancing, and but he was only doing the 4 chords over and over, so you'd sing the chorus, and then after that it would be you didn't really know what to do.
It's amazing that Chris Martin never got back to our emails when they were at Hampden. Special guest.
I know Gus Fraser used to play the trumpet pretty well, but I haven't actually seen it in person.
Do we get Gus Fraser and the masked trumpeter in the same room? Has anybody ever seen him?
Masked trumpeter. He's who is he? Nobody will ever know. We could probably start our own wee band here, but I'm trying to think who would have a good. I know Ben Afshar. He's got a wee singing talent.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, the Academy.
All right, okay.
I think he's on Spotify.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll have a look for Ben Afshar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got a good song.
Sharp scrum half and carries a tune well.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. I've lived with Dodge for just over a year now, about a year and a few months. I'm trying to think of what hidden talents he's got, but I genuinely couldn't think of one. Nothing's coming to my head.
Well, we'll let him off.
I know you'd think living with somebody for so long you'd learn a lot about them, but
does he know your hot chocolate order? This is the question.
Yeah, just a straight hot chocolate. Yeah. Gregor, I'd say Gregor's hidden talent is putting away so much food. Gregor Brown. Honestly, I've never seen somebody put away as much food as he does. I think he came around to the flat about not last weekend, the week before, and he polished off 14-inch pizza and a calzone in one sitting, and he said he was still hungry.
I mean, he's a grown lad.
He's a grown lad, yeah. But I don't know how he does it. And obviously up in Inverness, his parents were there at the game. I was speaking to his mum and dad, and they say he's never been like that until after school. So God knows how much he eats when he's at home. But yeah, when he's here, he puts away a hell of a lot. So
stock up on the shopping if you're inviting Greg around.
That's probably his hidden talent. Other than that, I can't really think of anymore.
We've got a lot of music and forwards that can eat where we're going. I like this. Similar to the one you answered about Stafford, we've got one here which is who has the best chat and who has the worst chat. So I think we're expanding off the pitch into general day-to-day now. Just general day-to-day. Who's the...
We'll start with worst because it's
okay, I was going to say which ones you want to go with, but you dive straight in there with worst chat. So
I think this will probably... I think that the squad will probably agree with this.
All right.
On a whole, I could get in trouble,
the facial expressions that Murphy is pulling here.
I would probably say, on a whole, it would be between Matt Fagerson and probably his brother Xander.
Oh,
the squad probably agree with that. But no, nobody's got the. It's tough. Matt's got his times. And so does Xander. Xander loves a card game, and then his chat's horrendous. But best chat, there's quite a few, to be fair. I like listening to Wilson because he's got so many funny stories, and he's obviously well connected to everyone, and then you can hear about all his funny stories. Richie as well, he's got a great chat. I'll give Dunkey his due. I would never tell him this to his face, but he's he's got a good chat.
You wouldn't tell it to his face, but you're about to put it out to 86,000 Twitter followers or whatever we're currently sitting on these days.
Hopefully he's not listening, but it seems to be, I don't want to say the older boys, I'd say the more experienced boys. Dunkey, Wilson, Rich, they seem to be the ones with...
Bit of life experience behind them, I think is the polite way of putting that.
Yeah. I just like listening to their stories and that. Going back on the worst chat, I'm going to say Sione Tupuotu. He's got a couple of phrases that the boys know he says, and he'll say it randomly throughout the day, and you know it's him, and it's just there's no purpose behind these phrases, and it's just a strange little world he lives in. He's got these couple of phrases that everybody knows. He's got to be up there with Matt and Xander.
I'm gonna leave you to defend yourself in the squad meetings when this podcast goes out, and if you see a bit of social media with Murphy sporting a few extra bruises in training, you'll probably know what sparked them. We'll go with your last one. So this is your promo to make it a big one. I still can't unravel this. All right, I feel like we might know the answer to this one, but who is the first teammate you would share good news with?
Probably Ollie Smith.
Yeah.
Him and I go back a fair amount of time, being at school, coming through the age race system and stuff, and then academy stuff, and then being involved in our first tour together is obviously pretty special. And then him going on to get a cap, which I was obviously delighted for him. He would probably be the first one I'd go to. I think, to be fair, a lot of the good news and bad news that both of us get, I think we do go to each other pretty fast with, for support or encouragement or whatever. But out of the squad, definitely Smithers, he'd probably be the go-to. But we do have quite a tight-knit younger group here amongst the squad. Well, I say younger now. There's another
taking over. Yeah,
there's another younger group below us. So yeah, there's a good group which is pretty tight just now. But yeah,
I'm guessing you were a bit of a sort of almost a proud dad in the stand for Ollie's debut for Scotland.
Yeah, no, it was. Unfortunately, his parents had to fly back literally the day before he played, which was a bit of a shame. But yeah, I decided to take their role into my hands, be the proud father moment for him. But that was pretty cool. Seeing your best mate make his international debut was quite cool. I was obviously gutted that I couldn't do it with him, but I think it was special anyway.
Yeah, and that is a very nice upbeat story to end episode 1 on. That will do us very nicely for today. Thank you very much for tuning in to the first episode of the Squadcast. We will return with a mystery warrior to come. I've been Craig Wright, he's been Murphy Walker, and this has been the Glasgow Warriors Squadcast.